Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, let's see if this screen thing works.
All right, cool.
Yeah, cool. So how long have you been on Minds? And
Since 2015.
wow, okay, cool. You must have seen so much development.
Yeah, it's been really cool. And you know what's kind of funny is, especially every now and then I think about like the early Minds and with our group. I'm one of the last ones. Oh, Nikki's still too. She's from the original group. And I just like I don't know wherever they are. Hope they find their way back, because a lot of the stuff that we were talking about in early Minds is stuff now that it seems like okay, it's ready. You know, a lot of times in our shows it would be like complaining like we should have crypto integration, we should fucking this, and why don't we have that? And I was just like, dude, let's do it. Like that was my main thing, is like, okay, it's fine to like criticize, but let's actually do it. And I remember we had a show.
A lot of these projects, and a lot of them are also moving pretty quickly. But generally, I haven't seen something in the social networking space that I think maybe there's a lot of work that's been going on in the back end for a bunch of the projects that contributed to the Decentralized Web Summit. But what I'm hoping is that all the work we've done on the front end of Minds is really going to be a huge contribution to that community, because we sort of are starting to gain a lot of momentum with how fast the front end is moving, and it's only going to keep going much faster. So I think that we're on a framework that is going to be pretty well absorbed by a lot of the community.
We had two shows, especially in the Minds Panel show. One was the crypto show, where we're talking just about the token, and we were actually talking about writing the white paper for a bill, because it was like taking long, and we're like, let's just do it. And then we had the decentralized network, and we had Bill, and that was pretty interesting. And everything that he was talking about then, and that's why I kind of stick with it, because I've had conversations with Bill, and I really do, it takes time, but he really kind of seems to me, for the most part of what I've noticed, as much as he can, like walk the walk, as he'll say something, and then later, of course everything takes time, and then okay, he's moving towards that goal.
Yeah. And it must have been so surreal for you to see him on Joe Rogan the other day.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Oh, that was pretty cool. I was actually talking to an old to a class of 15 member. She's still on Minds, but she doesn't really use it that much, but we like email each other. And she was like, I called that 3 years ago. I said Bill should be on Joe Rogan. And she kept that like, I'm psychic. I'm like, I don't think you're psychic, but yes, you did call it.
Wow. So what did you think of the conversation and the effects of it?
It was cool. Like, I mean, it was a lot of stuff that Mac was talking about it. And I noticed that it's not what I was focused on. Mac said he seemed a little nervous. I was just thinking, of course, yeah. And then, but Joe Rogan's been doing podcasts forever, and he does these like, I'm always amazed. And I mean, I don't like follow his show all that time, but the past couple of years I've been doing a little bit of podcasting, and like my friend, he does this other show that I helped him start. And just thinking about it in a more like creative producing way, I'm just amazed how he's able to like have all these different conversations for like 3 hours and it not seem like, oh, him just hanging out shooting the shit. Like that's like impressive. Like, I don't know, it's a really, well, he does it a lot, but for like, I would think for someone like Bill or anybody who's not doing it like that all the time, it could be a little bit overwhelming in that sense.
Definitely, yeah. What struck me at one point is that having done jujitsu for a long time, there's this like playfulness to it where it felt like Joe is like actually in full agreement of what Bill's saying, but he's choosing in many of the moments to like toy with him the way you would a combative opponent.
You have yours, which like you look like a hacker on like House of Cards. You look like a guy you call in to break into the mainframe server.
I'm not that, honestly.
I believe you're not.
I hang out on GitLab and check out code, but I cannot code. I cannot code.
Listen, man,
I'm not claiming to be a developer. No,
I know you're not.
These people are another level.
Yeah,
it is incredible.
I understand. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when you kind of like reach in to like get a feel for them, and you kind of like.
Yeah, and you're just kind of like poking them a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there were some moments that I just thought were so beautiful and honest.
Yeah.
At some point, Bill was like, "I'm not attached to my thinking" or something like that. And it was just like, it paused the whole conversation. It's like, wow, great.
Right. You could say, hey, anyone can take this and cut it up and.
Okay.
So you have the ability to license it however you want.
Right.
You could say, hey, anyone can take this and cut it up and. Right. You could say, hey, anyone can take this and cut it up and remix it, or you could say, no, it's locked down. But the free will stuff is connected to how we're dealing with information. And like, if you think,
a foolish pleasure, whatever.
Realistically, we don't own what we're saying. We're a part of it.
Right.
We're a conduit. We're a unique.
If you'd ask people, say in 1900, what are the odds of, man landing on the moon, they would have said that's ridiculous. And if you try to talk to them about the internet, they would not even know what the heck what are you even talking about? Like, this sounds so crazy.
So, I don't think it aligns with how the universe works to really be locking down information. I think that it makes sense probably in certain short-term business, but, I think we have to open it up to what's really going on.
Yeah. And that's like a skill too, to kind of like be able to get to that point.
Sure, 100%. And then there's the moment at the end where like, I don't know, I felt the way it ended was just like, it was almost like a recognition that Bill's message is sort of like so obvious that that's the direction that we as a society must go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
and I kind of like that, and I think part of it too is because some people were talking about that part. I was reading the comments in the YouTube, which I never really do, but I was just doing it just to see what other people's feedback was about it, and they were talking about how, Joe finally, asking tough questions. And I think it was in direct response to his Jack Dorsey interview, where he got a lot of flack for being too easy.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is like what I liked what you were saying about Bill. It was like, I'm not like trying to convince you, like, but this is how I see it, and I think this is just how it's gonna go. And it's like, come join us and have fun or whatever. Like, I'm not trying to sell you anything. Yeah, that's like a whole new. I think that's just how things are, really. And the problem I think is that pushing of narrative, that kind of weaponizing ads that is really destroying stuff. Like it has this destructive thing to, like, this whole illusion of, Twitter is going to be the conversation for the world, and we're going to have the ecology of ideas, and things are going to be battled out in the marketplace. But no, it's not like that. It's like few people with money and access are pushing certain things. And it's not like an ecology. It's not, organic. And things go awry when it's not this kind of organic way of doing things, you know?
Yeah.